It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That, of course, is... Here's Chris Aiken.
Hello.
Have you downloaded this latest edition of Skype?
I don't know. I have no idea. Is that what I'm on now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm on. Let me see. I'm on version 7.33.0.105.
I can't tell you what version I'm on, but anyway, I don't like it. I don't like the layout.
Is it the bigger layout thing?
Yeah, the bigger layout thing.
Yeah, I do have that. I don't like it either.
Yeah, and you can't answer calls automatically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Shitty shit.
They ruined a good thing.
Well, as long as the connection stays good, who cares?
I think the connection sounds great.
Yeah, it definitely does. Sorry, I'm swallowing.
What are we having over there?
We're having a piece of toast. That's my dinner.
All right.
One piece of toast.
Nice.
All right, let me before we get into anything.
All right.
I'm just going to say this one time.
All right.
I've heard every one of the 500 goddamn messages.
From who?
I get it.
From who?
From all over the place. I'm getting texts. I'm getting Facebook. You know, a lot of people saying, glad you're in a good place, blah, blah, blah. Thank you. A lot of people saying, you're a fucking pussy sellout. Okay. Thank you as well. Or fuck you as well. But I heard you all. See? See Luigi Garcia in the chat room. Pussy whipped faggot. Yep. I'm definitely taking a little beating tonight. That's okay. It's the Beat on Chris show. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of M3, since we've been touching on that a little bit through the night, you know who I saw last week who didn't? Well, actually, he passed. He was so close that he brushed shirts with me because he squeezed by me in a row.
Yeah.
In the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
Tony from Kansas City.
Oh yeah, did you stop have a nice conversation with Tony and talk about the old days?
No, he didn't even recognize me. I saw him coming down the row, and I go, I know that guy, and he was squeezed right by me, but I don't think he recognized me.
Yeah.
He just like, excuse me. He's squeezing his way out.
Well, oh well.
Then I never saw him the rest of the day, but
you really think he didn't recognize you?
No, I don't think so.
I think you're full of shit.
I don't think he realized I was standing in the same row as him.
I think he's probably still major butthurt.
Well, he didn't look at me or say anything, so I don't know.
I think he was probably still major butthurt.
Couldn't tell you. But I was explaining to Serena, I said, you know who that was? She's like, no. I said, that's Tony from Kansas City. And I said, but he doesn't like us anymore. And I said, what? She's like, well, why is that? And so I explained to her that because of his newfound sobriety,
yeah,
he thinks that because he's made a major change in his life, that anything that he's done in the past should be erased.
Right.
And he wanted us to remove any segments of our show that featured him calling in drunk.
Yeah.
And we told him no.
Yeah, we told him flat out no. Nothing. And that is such a hard rule with us, but nothing gets deleted.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's a legal thing. I think the only segment we've ever truly deleted, was because it was a legal situation, wasn't it?
More or less, yeah.
Was lawyer Fred was like, what are you doing? Get rid of that shit.
Exactly.
But yeah, the show is the show. You know, of course people change. I've changed. You've changed. You know, the day from, when was the first time I was on the show? 2004, 3?
It was, let's see here. I came here in 2005 was probably when you joined the show.
Right.
On a consistent basis.
Right. I'm talking about STB.
Oh, STB. That was way back in 2001.
Okay. So would you say that we're different people from?
Oh
2000?
yeah, I mean, but we didn't really know each other that well. I mean, I had only known you for 2 years at that point,
right?
And not even on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, when I met you in '98 due to Rock and Randy,
Mm-hmm.
it was just just a peripheral friendship at that point. But then
Sure.
when I told you anytime the new Music's Bottom Line came out, you were more than welcome to come down to the show and talk about the new edition.
Right.
And that's how it got started with when the new issue of Bottom Line came out and hit the newsstands, you'd come down and promote it.
Yeah.
And that's how that all started.
And it was a good working thing. And, and it was, I think you and I figured out real quick. We had some chemistry.
Well,
going.
it was apparent right from the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. That first, the night was the first night, the night with Chuck and
Chuck and Little Mike, and I think even Big Mike was in the studio because you introduced me to Chuck.
Right. Okay.
Because Randy started off actually Little Mike started off as my first co-host, but he would never get on the mic with me.
Right.
He didn't want to be on the show. He wanted to be in the studio and hang out and talk in the background to me, but he would never get up on mic. He didn't ever want to be on the mic. And then I had met Randy, and Randy asked if he could come down from time to time and, shoot the shit. And I was just like, yeah, sure, come on down. And that lasted a little while until he had some weed issues that I told him he couldn't have. And so I told him he couldn't come back anymore because he ran the risk of blowing my whole gig.
Right. Only Randy. You're doing the gig. It's in a school.
Yeah.
And Randy just decides he's going to go out to his car and spark up.
Yeah.
Every break. Not once where you might get away with it. Every break. Fucking Randy.
Yeah. And the first time I caught him, I told him, dude, you can't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever. Then a couple of weeks later, caught him doing it again. It's just like, dude, you got to go. It's like, I like you as a person and all this, but I don't want any hard feelings here, but you can't come back anymore.
Hey, can't be getting high on the fucking property.
Yeah, exactly. So, then I was flying solo again for a short while. And then periodically long-haired Mike would stop in.
Right.
And he'd sometimes hang out. And of course he would fill in for me when I wanted to go out and go to an event or something.
Right.
And he became my pretty consistent fill-in co-host.
Sure.
And then you introduced me to Chuck Myden, and he started coming down pretty much on a consistent basis. And then then you would stop in periodically, and that's when the sparks really started to kind of fly.
Yep.
You'd kind of push Chuck out of the way and take over.
Yeah. Relegate Chuck to picking music for me. Yeah, Chuck, go find me that Black and Blue song.
Right. And, we'd cut up, and it seemed to work, and it was a lot of fun. And, there was obviously a chemistry there.
Sure.
So, and then, of course, I relocated in March of 2003.
Right.
And built a studio of my own and hosted the show for about 2 years solo.
Right.
And then we figured out technology enough to where you could be a part of the show on a consistent basis.
Yep.
And that lasted about 4 years before you got yanked off the air.
Before I had to leave for personal reasons, as the press release would read, right?
Exactly. So if and when that book of mine comes out,
yeah,
I still have your original email that you sent me.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah, you'd need to print that.
That's going to be in the book.
I'd like to see that. It's got to be sappy and horrible.
Well, it wasn't sappy and horrible. It was like very straight and to the point. It was basically saying my wife is making me do this without saying my wife is making me do this.
You want to read it?
I don't have it handy. It's on another hard drive. I got to get it. I don't have it like handy here. But
I was gonna say that would be fun.
Yeah, but it was just basically, I have responsibilities. I have a family. I I'm a father. I've got a couple of boys to raise. I got to do this. I got to do that. The show just doesn't fit within my, my day-to-day life here at home and blah, blah, blah. And, it was a very straightforward saying, I realize now as a mature adult that I can't do the tomfoolery of the CMS anymore. More or less is kind of like it read.
Right. I'm not allowed to comment on anything you're saying.
Well, I'm just telling you what it said. I have it in my possession, so,
Yeah, those were fun times.
Yeah.
I was going through a real fucking fun time.
Yeah. Well, I know we may have touched on this before, but, you and I were doing our normal shtick, and it was late. It was getting late. I think there was about an hour left of the show, and you and I were in the middle of a segment of something. I don't remember what the segment was. Right. And I'm just doing my end of the segment, talking about something or other, and I'm looking for a reply from you, and I'm getting nothing.
Right.
You're just gone.
I remember what it was. Do you want to know what it was?
What was it?
We were talking about some kind of a stripper thing, and it was MOL that was on the phone, and he talked about something about getting the sheets all fucked up, oily. It was the term was oiling up the sheets.
Okay.
And she came. Somebody might have come booming into here.
Right.
And I turned off the mic and never turned it back on.
Yeah, I know. And you and I communicated at that point via instant messenger.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, where are you? Where'd you go? Where are you?
Nothing.
And nothing. Mic is off. No instant messenger. Nothing. So I basically just filled the last hour and ended the show. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened? And the next morning, Sunday morning, I wake up and there's this long ass tirade email from you saying, effective immediately, I'm leaving the show.
Yeah.
The show.
I might have stayed up until midnight or morning till sunlight arguing. That may have happened.
And I get this email, effective immediately, I'm leaving the show. I'm a family man. I'm married. I got responsibilities. I have 2 young sons to raise. I don't have, a space in my life for this. This is taking a toll on me. And, this and that. I'm sure, I'll help you with whatever you need to help continue the show, but only in the background.
Right.
Maybe I can help you find a new co-host.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. And it was just like, dude, we were on such a roll. It's like, I'm going to continue the show, but I don't know if I can stomach just trying to find somebody new.
Yeah. It sucked too, because we were really on a roll. I mean, that we were just screaming, and just getting tons of attention. Not like, it's weird though, because not like now. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a different audience. We were doing a little more shticky stuff at that point. Yeah. People like the bits and the silliness and stuff. But now what we're doing, I kind of look as being a little more real. It's funny, but it's also real life stuff too.
Yeah. Well, and that was a discussion that we had when I came back. You probably remember this. I told you, I said, you know what? When I come back, I'm going to talk about my real life.
Well, and that's all well and fine. The reason it wasn't like that before is because neither of us were in a place where we could really have real life discussions.
Right. Exactly. And once we did start talking about real life shit, that's when it took off.
I agree. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air. Oh, they're gone.
Thanks for calling.
All right. So anyway, that's what happened there. And, I know even John Astronomy brought it up to you last week. He's like, dude, didn't you leave the show for a while or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
And I liked your answer. That's because I had a wife who didn't like me to be on the radio.
Well, that's true. some of the stories. One of these nights, we're just going to tell the story, or you're going to tell the stories, and I'll just kind of acknowledge.
Right, exactly. So
I'm not allowed, but that doesn't mean you're not allowed. And
that's exactly right. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, it's Aussy Ace.
Hey, what's up, Aussy Ace? What's happening over there in the great land of Australia, the prison capital of the world?
It's all happening. It's all happening.
Well,
I've just been listening. I've been listening to you guys, and look, let's be real here. I think everyone's being a touch hard on Chris. He was thinking about this other girl. Forget the grog side of it. He was a little bit complicated. Showed a bit of passion there for this other girl. So I think maybe take it a touch easy on Chris there.
Are you feeling for Chris there, Aussy? Are you feeling for Chris?
Yeah, well, actually, I emailed you a couple of hours ago a little article that absolutely is pucker and suits what you're talking about, bromance.
Bromance?
The pair of yous are reminiscing. Now, at the moment, it's like you're cuddling each other.
Well, I think it's more or less recapping a little the history of the CMS.
Absolutely, but there's so much feeling in it.
Should I play the Feelings song again, Aussy?
No, you know what? When you were talking about that, and I thought the perfect song is "Live to Win," and you played it.
Well, that's because we're on the same plane there, Aussy. You and I, we're flying high over the mountain on the same plane.
Exactly. Hey, check out the little article I sent for you and you should read this one out. Bromance leads to feelings.
All right.
Because I only emailed that to you a couple of hours ago, or a few hours ago, and I thought, wow, they're doing the bromance.
All right. Well, I hate to tell you, Aussy, but I'm going to be, since we're talking about being real, I'm telling you, I'm sporting half a stock right now while we speak.
Okay. One other thing, Neeley, I tried to order some shirts. When I came through to do the PayPal exit, it wouldn't allow me to give the various sizes I wanted.
Well, if you sent me a PayPal, tell me the size and I'll send it out.
All right, lovely. All right, Alan Kill, fuck you, pal. Hand job!
There goes Aussy Ace.
Thanks, Aussy.
Wow.